to the demonstration of the Sandbox framework. I want to show the core functionality of the Sandbox framework. I'm currently looking at the project that I've downloaded from GitHub, and I'm looking at the template scene, which can be found under Assets, Scenes, and then Template. Well, I want to leave the template unchanged. I want to work in my own copy of this scene. So what you can do is go to File and then Save As, and save it under a new name in your Scenes folder. I'll call this one Demonstration. And you can see on the top left here, it's now in the demonstration scene. If I press play, you can see that on my end, the camera is very slow. That's the default setting for the first-person Cadet controller. So I will ramp this up, but if it works well on your end, you don't have to do this change. For that, I'll go to the project dependencies under Assets, and then Start Assets, Runtime, Input System, and then this asset here, the Input Action Asset. Under Actions, I look for Delta. There's here Skill Vector, and currently it's scaled to 0.05. I'll change those to 1. It's set to autosave, so I don't need to save it manually. So I can just close it, and when I press play, it should behave properly for me. Yeah, that's better. Oh, I think I didn't save one of the values. Hold on. Yeah. Right. I don't know. Right, okay, now it's good. Right, so again, if you don't have the issue that I have, I'm on a MacBook touchpad here, then it's fine. You don't need to make the change. Yeah, so the framework allows you to interact with objects by selecting them, dragging them, and welding them. I will show that with a box. So I'll go to Game Object and then 3D Object and Cube. I'll make a cube. I'll place it at 0, 0.5, and 5 in my world. So it's right in front of the player when we start. Here you go. And currently I cannot interact with the object. Alright. So in order to make the object interactable, I will add a selectable component, a draggable component, and a weldable component. You can just do a draggable component. You can add that, and it will automatically add a selectable component because they're dependent. And then the weldable components can be added after. So in the inspector, I went to the add component button at the bottom, and I added a draggable and a weldable. If you look a little bit up, there's also a selectable component added, and there you can add a description. A simple box. That's the description I fill in, and then for the name I fill in box. So now when I press play, I should be able to interact with the box. It will highlight, it will display the description I gave, the simple box, and I can drag it and move it somewhere else. Great. Now I want to turn this box into a prefab. So I'll go to the scenes folder, where currently I made my own scene, demonstration scene, but I didn't make a folder yet. So I'll create a folder here, call it also demonstration scene, demonstration, to fit the name of the scene I'm currently working in. Okay, I'll open up this folder. It's currently empty. I'll take the box and drag that into here. So now my box is a prefab. I will remove the original box from my scene. So it only exists as a prefab in the demonstration scene. And then I'll go to the spawner. Under the spawner, you'll find a button which is called block. If you scroll a bit down, you can see that there's a mouse listener added. And when the mouse down is pressed, it will spawn something. It will call the spawner.spawn method, which can be found a little bit under there. Here, there's spawner. You can select the spawn location, which is currently set to spawn location, which is the transparent box that you see here. And it tells you what it can spawn in the prefabs here. You could add multiple prefabs, then it will randomly select one of the prefabs from the list. But currently there's only one element here. I'll take the box we just created, the prefab, and drag that onto this slot here. If I press play, I can then press the button and spawn my box. There you go, a simple box, and another one here. Okay, now I have two boxes. I can move one box slightly inside the other one, and then press F to weld. So you could see that briefly they were both highlighted. That means that the weld action has been performed. So now I can drag the box around. What I would like to do is to create a new type of box that changes color whenever I weld it. I'll create a new cube for that. Again, I move it to a nice position, 0, 0.55. I call this one light box. I will add the same components that I added before. So first I'll add the draggable component. And then I'll add the weldable component. So that's all still the same. However, I want to add another component, which is the weld listener. The listener components in the framework allow you to respond to events in the game. And in this case, the weld listener will listen to weld events. So whenever the object is welded, when it's unwelded, you want something to happen. That something is defined in a Unity event. So here we see onWeld, which is one Unity event, and here we have onUnweld, which is the other Unity event. And I can add something to that with the plus button. So let's say onWeld, whenever it's welded, I want to change the color of this object. Well, first I need to indicate what object I want to affect, which is currently set to none. I'll take the light box and drag that into here. When you turn this into a prefab, this reference will reference the object itself. So Unity is smart enough to know, like, okay, so the one light box is referencing itself. If we make a copy of that, it should reference that copy and not the original light box, right? So here we have a reference to the object itself. On the right, we can now select what component we want to affect. Well, I want to change the appearance of the object, so I'll go to the mesh renderer. Now I see a lot of options here that I can choose from, and they are all options you could link. But the thing I'm interested in currently is something called shared material. Don't confuse that with material. Shared material is a material from the assets folder. The material will be a local material if you want to change that. It's used in coding. I don't think we'll need that for now. So I just want to change the material into something else and use shared material. Well, and then finally I can select what material I want to set here. So press the circle and look for a nice material. I'll go for one of the neon materials. This one. So okay, the instruction that we gave to the framework now is whenever this object is welded, it should change the material from the renderer into neon. Well, then I press play again. I'll spawn another box here. This is a regular box. And this is the one, the light box that we just made. Now I weld that to the other box. And you can see that it lights up. I have a little bit of Z fighting going on here. Let me fix that. You can also change the material back to the original material when you unweld the box. So then when it's connected, it lights up, and when it's disconnected, it is no longer lit. And I think if you want to make the effect stronger, you could also add a point light to the object and enable that. Unity events allow you to do multiple things in one step. So here we added the neon material, but under it there's a plus and we can add more things there. So I could do other things as well.